As the developers of games like Friday the 13th, Illfonic seems like the perfect fit for an asymmetrical multiplayer Predator title, so it's not surprising that quite a few people are excited to get their hands on Predator Hunting Grounds. The game is out just days from now, and in anticipation of that, here we'll be looking at 14 vital pieces of information that you should know about it. Premise: Predator Hunting Grounds is, as we've mentioned, an asymmetrical multiplayer title, pitting a team of 4 players against one foe. One team of 4 fire team members is let loose into one of the game's maps, and they go up against a deadly predator controlled by another player. But it's not all about 4v1 action, there's plenty else going on as well, which brings us to our next point. Objectives. For the fire team, the main goal is to get out of the jungle by getting to their chopper. In order to do that, players will be handed a bunch of different objectives to complete. This can range from tasks such as taking on AI-controlled human enemies and liberating outposts on the maps, to turning generators back on and hacking into hard drives, and a lot more. Dynamism. The interesting thing about objectives is that they're going to be dynamically generated, which means that every time you play a match, regardless of which map you're playing on, you'll be given different objectives. With a simple 4v1 premise, the game might have run the risk of quickly getting repetitive, but on paper, the prospect of dynamic objectives does suggest that that will not be the case. So here's hoping it works out that way. Stealth. But, of course, the main threat is going to be the Predator itself. While the fire team is completing objectives and rushing to make it to their chopper, the player controlling the Predator will be tasked with taking all of them down. If you're playing as the deadly hunter, stealth will be your best friend, appropriately enough. Stronger weapons used by the human players can be pretty deadly, so skulking through the trees and stealthily taking out your foes one by one will be the thing that you'll be doing the most. Weapons. Speaking of weapons, if you're playing as part of the fire team, you'll have plenty of firepower at your disposal. Basic weapons such as pistols, assault rifles, and shotguns will be easily found and will be your go-to weapons for the objectives. But when you're looking to take out the Predator itself, you'll want to rely on weapons such as sniper rifles, grenade launchers, and more. Classes. Fire team members will have plenty of options when it comes to picking classes and loadouts, and you're going to want to have plenty of variety in your squad to tackle different challenges. From heavy damage dealing classes equipped with large weapons, to frontline soldiers that lead the charge, to ranged experts that hang back with sniper rifles, fireteam players will have quite a few options to choose from. Predator weapons. The Predator in itself is a deadly weapon, but you'll still have a large arsenal to make use of when playing as one of these deadly monstrosities. There's the Plasma Caster, a shoulder cannon that can fire off armor-piercing plasma bolts. The wrist blades, which are perfect for up-close melee encounters. A smart disc, a projectile weapon that tracks and attacks multiple enemies. The combi stick, a spear-type melee weapon. And the Yautja bow, which is perfect for long-range attacks. In addition to that, the Predator will, of course, also have a camouflage ability to keep itself hidden. Predator classes. There will be multiple Predator types to choose between in Predator Hunting Grounds as well. The Scout class will have higher speed, stamina, and recovery, and will be better with ranged weapons, but will have lower health and won't be able to carry too much gear. The Berserker class will have large pools of health and, as such, perfectly suited for melee combat, but will be much slower and have lower recovery. The Hunter class, meanwhile, will be a jack of all trades. Customization. Predator Hunting Grounds will also offer players plenty of customization options. In addition to having various classes of fireteam members to choose from, players will also be able to customize weapons and loadouts and cater their build to their playstyles. In addition, there will also be unlockable weapons for both fireteam members and predators, for which players will have to level up. Maps. But what about the maps that you'll be playing in? Well, there's some interesting stuff to talk about here as well. For starters, you can expect to find tons of stealth opportunities in ways maps have been designed, with each one putting you in the middle of a wild and overgrown jungle. The developers have also promised that each map will be large and sprawling, which makes sense given the varying objectives that fireteam members will be taken on. AI. Predator Hunting Grounds is mostly about the 4v1 action, but given the inclusion of objectives, which sees fireteam members fighting against local drug lords and liberating outposts, there will be plenty of firefights against AI-controlled enemies as well. And the developers have promised that these will be no pushovers. Interestingly enough though, if in the middle of these firefights the Predator should choose to attack, these AI enemies will change targets and start attacking the Predator instead. Audio. Illfonic have also stated that audio is going to be an extremely important element of Predator Hunting Grounds, which makes sense given the game's premise. Given how much the game focuses on stealth and the prospect of players being hunted or being the hunters, keeping an ear out for incoming foes who are trying to attack unsuspecting prey will be a crucial part of the experience. Movie nods. This one is sort of obvious, but you can expect plenty of references, callbacks, and nods in Predator Hunting Grounds to the movies it is inspired by. Given that this is a multiplayer title and not a story-driven single-player experience, it'll be interesting to see how these nods show up. That said, the developers have also promised that there will be plenty of new stuff that they have cooked up themselves that will also be in this game. Epic Games Store. Though it is published by Sony, Predator Hunting Grounds will not be exclusive to the PS4. It will also be launching on PC. However, much like many other PC releases these days, it will be launching as an Epic Games Store exclusive. There's no word yet on when or if the game will come out on Steam, so for now, if PC players want the game, they're going to have to get it through Epic's storefront. And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from GamingBolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.